Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Jenks, you owe me a soda. Oh, there you go.
This is the mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, it's not today. It's
Yeah, I
not,
forgot.
my friend.
Today, there's mashed potatoes, there's gravy, today's a feast, honestly.
It's a feast, but it's a feast. Guess what? You have to eat during a college course because,
The Umbrella Academy is going to teach us a thing or two.
yeah, no, welcome to fucking Resident Evil 101 because Noodle done said some shit about the new Resident Evil series, and you are about to be fucking
I'm not a
corrected.
fan of it as a Resident Evil thing.
And that is where you're wrong.
That's not where I'm wrong.
Oh,
that's how I feel.
It's your feelings are wrong.
And I have no dog in this race, so I'm just going to have fun watching these guys yell at each other for the next 45
What
minutes.
the fuck?
No, not even. This is gonna be an hour at least.
How come? Okay, all right. How come every single? It seems like constantly people who adapt Resident Evil, they want to make it like a post-apocalypse thing. What game?
Yeah, no,
What anything has been post-apocalypse.
Yeah,
with
that's
Resident Evil. It's never fucking happened.
Yes, allow me to speak for a moment because I'm the fucking teacher here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it right out.
and I'm the shitty kid.
Yeah, you're the shitty kid. Shut the fuck up, or I'm sending you to the goddamn dean.
The gulag.
I gotta go to the dean.
Oh, shit, you got to go to the dean.
All right, say what you're gonna say.
All right, so
Maybe you'll change my
well,
mind.
right out the gate, I'm gonna spoil exactly half of the Resident Evil show because honestly, the post-apocalypse part is by far the weakest part of the entire show, and
Through the first 2 episodes, that's the part I care about, where I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And like, yeah, there's...
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's the weakest part of the show. So, everybody sit down, grab your notepads, because class is now in session.
No one's grabbing it.
Yeah, no one's grabbing a notepad, but whatever. Shut up and pay attention to the PowerPoint
Open
that
up
I'm
your note app on your phone.
Yes, pay attention to the PowerPoint that's not going to be on the screen because I didn't prepare one. So, we're going to cover what exactly makes a Resident Evil story, why certain Resident Evil medias are good, why certain Resident Evil medias are not even Resident Evil, and then at the end, why the show is Resident Evil. Alright, so, class, question for you. What is it exactly that makes the great Resident Evil stories stand out amidst the absolute mountain of other zombie and monster-related media?
A crushing societal criticism of how corporate love society ruins everything.
Besides the fact...
Top marks, Jumbo. Top
Besides
marks.
the fact that they're one of the first ones to do it, and do it in this way, and... So, yeah, of course, you're gonna have what Jimbo said.
Yes.
They're also the first, at least in my knowledge, the first franchise that gets super in-depth and specific about different types of zombies, what viruses create them, who created the viruses, and all that kind of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not just these guys are zombies. Sorry, we don't
Yeah.
tell you there was radiation from a comet, so we got zombies.
Jimmy, you're carrying me. Thank you.
Yes. All that is good, but it's what you said first off that is actually the best point. It's the same thing that makes James Cameron's Aliens still stick out in our cultural
And
mindscape.
RoboCop.
And also RoboCop, very true. Because
Although that's less about corporate and more about the militarization of the police and society in general. It's kind of the same.
yeah, pretty much. But in James Cameron's Aliens, without the subplot of Wayland Yutani trying to get their hands on an alien, it would have just been another sci-fi monster movie. A great one, admittedly, possibly the best one ever
I
made.
feel like even with, at least in just Aliens case, specifically, even without the Weyland Yutani shit, it still would have been a groundbreaking movie.
Oh yeah, I mean the creature effects alone, but the reason it was relevant then in the 80s and is even more relevant now is the whole overtone of corporate greed. Because Ripley herself said it best. I don't know which of our species is worst, Burke. You don't see them fucking each other for a goddamn percentage. So, we're going to start at the beginnings, and I'm going to explain to you which of the medias does this right and which does not. So, first one, very first Resident Evil. The mansion incident happened because Umbrella was doing secret experiments to develop monsters and bioweapons that they were going to sell to literally any military who would pay their price.
Yeah, so why didn't we get a show about that?
We're getting there. Stop interrupting me, you fuck.
Well,
Yeah. Resident Evil
hard.
2 happened, one, because William Birkin was trying to leave Umbrella and take the G-Virus with him and try to find another company who would allow him specifically to continue the research on his virus and hopefully pay him more than Umbrella does. And Umbrella countered this by sending Hunk and the Alpha Team to take back the G-Virus because they didn't want to lose their new golden goose. Resident Evil 3 had Operation Watchdog. Resident Evil 3 takes place during the Raccoon City outbreak, and Operation Watchdog was like Umbrella looking at Raccoon City and going, well, this is a problem, but it's possibly a profitable one. So Operation Watchdog was Umbrella sending in their own private military officially to evacuate civilians, but unofficially, the leaders of most of those squads had orders to deliberately steer their squads into combat with like the BOWs and stuff.
So the cleanup crews were the test, the experiment.
Yep, and those same commanders were supposed to observe and collect combat data, so then that would make it more easy for Umbrella to sell their creations. What the fuck are you guys doing over there?
Whispering.
Why?
I'm still listening.
Oh, okay.
And we aren't overshadowed. Keep going.
Yeah, so Operation Watchdog was to help Umbrella sell their creations even better to whoever wanted to buy them. Resident Evil 5 had not only the Tricell Corporation, but various other organizations who either made their own monsters or straight up stole them when Umbrella collapsed to sell on the black market to terrorist groups, not only for the money brought on by that, but also so those same groups could send their own forces in and then make even more money by cleaning up the mess. Resident Evil 6 had Neo Umbrella and various members highly placed in the US government who were using bioorganic weapons to further their own goals. Resident Evil 7 had the Connection, and they decided they were going to skimp on security measures when transporting another BOW in order to save a little bit more money, which then that BOW got loose and caused the Louisiana incident. So the weakest...
That's with the crazy family, right?
Yep, that's the one.
That feels so disconnected, though. Like,
Yeah, it's
honestly,
supposed to-
7 and 8 really do not feel
It's
like
supposed to
Resident Evil games.
weirdly be a part, or like a continuation.
It feels a lot more like
Yeah.
Outlast
Story
than
where it
Resident
is.
Evil.
Yeah.
But
But that leads me to what I consider the weakest Resident Evil stories of the series. Number 4 and number 8. And before anyone burns me at the stake, I'm not saying those are bad stories.
we're
I'm
gonna burn you in the middle of the town.
Yeah, that's
Like you
fine.
see
Whatever.
In,
Gonna be a stack
in
of
Resident
tires.
Evil 4, you're gonna be right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that second guy from the cop car who gets burned
Yeah.
at the stake.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not saying those are bad stories. They're actually really good. I mean, there's a fucking reason Resident Evil 4 is still quoted to this day with things like, Sadler, you're small time. I'm going to introduce you to it. It, huh? Forgot its name? A senior moment, perhaps? Your right hand comes off?
Your right hand.
To be
comes
fair,
off.
from what I've heard a lot, though, the number 4 receives a lot of criticism from, like, Resident Evil purists who hate the way the games got turned into action
Oh,
type
I mean-
of things. Like, there's that
Yeah.
group of people who are like, how dare you take away my tank controls? And,
Yeah, no, we're not. We're speaking strictly from story standpoint here.
oh,
And,
what's wrong with the story in 4?
oh, nothing's wrong with
But
it.
what makes it not a Resident Evil story?
Because there is, I think, the whole like I said, the overtones of corporate greed in that game are basically non-existent and relegated to like a few lines of dialogue between Ada and Krauser on the
I
fact
think
that
that's what makes it so popular is that it's its own self-contained story.
yeah, I know, I'm not saying it's a bad story. It's a really good one. It's just, in my opinion, kind of a weak Resident Evil story. The same way 8's
Yeah,
story is
yeah,
kind of a
no,
weak
you're right.
Resident Evil story
You're
because
right.
there's the only signs of like corporate greed you get in that game is at the very end when Chris finds out that the BSAA, the group he helped form, is now using BOWs of their own to combat other BOWs, which, I mean, it's a great hook for probably Resident Evil 9, but the story...
After Wesker died, Chris just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, you couldn't fucking take it anymore.
He lost his lever.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Just real quick, does Wesker ever become the? Because I'm not familiar with many of the games past like the first couple, and then like maybe 4. Like, does Wesker turn out to be like a straight supervillain like he is in the Anderson movies?
Kind of, yeah, definitely.
Or is
By
he more nuanced?
Even more so. Actually.
yeah, no. By the time of Resident Evil 5, Wesker is in full-blown supervillain territory.
Wesker is hilariously supervillain.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
wonderful.
like just some of. All right, here's some slightly modified Wesker dialogue for you. I don't need any help. I have Ouroboros. In 5 minutes, we will reach optimal altitude for missile deployment. George Bush will be released into the atmosphere, ensuring complete global saturation.
It's GB, but we decided it was George Bush.
No, but the actual line is he's talking about Ouroboros getting released into the atmosphere, but Wesker's voice actor
What do
from
you think
Resident
we actually-
Evil 5... What?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, his voice actor from Resident Evil 5 is just in love with the fact that he got to be this character, so he made, like, an entire blooper reel of that one scene, and that was one of the lines he either, like, accidentally or deliberately flubbed. George Bush will be released into the atmosphere.
Please no.
Oh, God, no,
What would
Wesker.
actually happen if George Bush got released into the atmosphere?
I don't know.
Would we all become more Texan?
Either that or he would fall to his death. It's a 50-50 shot, either way.
Alright.
Alright,
Well, so the show.
not
go on
yet.
with the show,
Not
I wanna-
yet. Not yet, goddammit.
I
have
know
not,
the whole story leading up to the show already.
I know, but not yet.
Alright.
I also want to address the fact that you called the Anderson movies Resident Evil
You should've told
stories,
me forward from that.
which, granted, the first two do definitely have the overtones of corporate greed, but
First two are
Yeah, but-
9 out of 10.
yeah, they're
There's
fine. Like,
one
I
that-
actually enjoy the first two movies, but after that, all the other ones who come after completely lose those overtones. Like, the world's gone to shit. Like, Umbrella is still there, but the world's ruined. They're either doing what they're doing because whatever scientist wants to gain godlike powers, or there's literally fucking nothing else to do. The world is gone. What are they gaining by doing any of this? There's no greed left to have.
No, at least they have the characters and stuff.
They're
and they
not
have
even the
them in there.
characters.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're
Barry
not.
looks like a fucking Power Ranger in his fucking vest, but you know it's Barry.
But he doesn't act like Barry in the same way Leon...
Yeah, he does.
Barely. Like, Leon doesn't act like Leon. He just looks like Leon. I mean, Chris doesn't act like Chris. Claire
No,
doesn't even
because-
fucking look like Claire.
No, those movies have the
Right,
giant
yeah.
flaws.
I saw him in
But
this
at
episode.
least they look like the characters. They're called the characters. They look like the characters.
But that
and
does not
everything.
make it a Resident Evil story. It makes it a post-apocalypse survivor story with characters named after Resident Evil characters.
So how is the show different?
Now we get to it. I'm going to spoil exactly half of this show.
I think
for
the
you.
show is worse at that than the Wes Anderson movies.
All right. Well, there are spoilers for the 2022 section of the show in which Wesker is alive. So, I'm not talking about the 2036.
Wow.
Oh, the okay.
Yeah, I'm not going into the 2036 stuff because, like I said, it's still good. It's definitely the weaker part of the show, and that's it's fine. I don't want to touch on
To
stuff.
me, it's been the better part of the show so far
Yeah.
through
I
two
miss you to stop
episodes
apologizing.
because I don't.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
All right. So, like I said, massive spoilers for the 2022 section. You better be ready for that. So,
Yeah. No,
we're gonna take it from the beginning of the timeline out to the end of the 2022 segment. So,
Shit, hold on. Give me a second.
first off, one thing that the creators did right was straight up admit this is not the story of the games. This is a story they are telling using familiar settings and characters, which is something the Anderson movies did not do. Anderson was like,
familiar settings and characters.
Sorry, I
What?
looked through my text. I don't see it.
we'll get there. Like
In what way, shape, or form?
I said, we'll get there. Shut up. Anyway, so that's something the Anderson movies didn't do. Anderson was like, yeah, no, I love the games. I'm going to be super respectful of the canon. Yeah, and then Resident Evil's
I miss your beard.
3 through the end happened. Not exactly respectful of the
So-
canon there.
So, all right.
Anyway,
tell
so,
me.
In
why
the
this-
universe of this show, first thing people are going to have to accept, Wesker is black in this telling. Fucking deal with it. It's fine. Lance
That
Reddick
is-
is awesome.
that has nothing to do with it.
I've seen people having issues with the fact that
Oh,
Wesker's
of course
black.
they do.
Yeah.
But it does, like, of course people do. Dumbass people do. But he's also just not Wesker.
I'm
It'll be
I'm
back.
getting
So,
there. I'm getting there. So,
continue.
starting at the beginning, everything in the show's universe pretty much follows the main
All I
Resi
said was
continuity
I
up
miss
until
you.
2005, which is about a year after Resident Evil 4 happens.
I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
Go.
So, like, the mansion incident happened, Raccoon City got destroyed, Code Veronica
Oh,
happened,
yeah.
Resident Evil 4 happened. So, at about 2005, Wesker, Albert Wesker, the Albert Wesker, is looking around and essentially says, well, damn, this sucks. I'm, like, the smartest person in Umbrella now. I need, like,
No,
other smart people like me.
But anyway,
Well, wait a minute.
We are in the middle.
What if those smart people were me? This is your first major spoiler, right here. So Wesker
I love you, man.
creates 3 clones of himself. So they can do the stuff in the lab while Wesker is out doing Super Wesker stuff. And this actually leads to one of the fucking funniest things in the entire show. So the Wesker shows up in the scene decked out in like the Resident Evil 5 all black outfit with trench coat and shades. But it's Lance Reddick wearing the costume, so he literally just looks like Blade.
Or Morpheus.
No, he
Okay,
looks
I
like
have
Blade.
no idea who
He-
this guy is, so.
He's even got like the Blade flat top haircut.
Ooh, I'm down.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes, I can hear him screaming from here. No.
Oh, I know, right? So anyway, Wesker Prime, we're gonna call him the OG Wesker,
I
created
missed out for about 5 minutes
Oh.
there. Why are we designating different Weskers?
because Wesker made clones of himself.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. So he created 3 clones of himself, and their names are Al, Bert, and Albie.
Of fucking course they are.
Yeah, which-
Does Wesker have the imagination of a damp paper towel? Like, what the fuck?
I guess so, but we
I
also
feel like the real Albert Wesker would have come up with better names.
he might have been busy, but anyway, he creates the clones to like work in the labs on like research and development shit, while Wesker Prime is out.
They turn on him, right? You can't tell me 3 exact clones of Wesker don't eventually try to fuck over each other.
I mean, you don't really get to see it much, and these are also like unaugmented clones, so they don't have like Wesker Prime's super abilities and shit
Oh,
like
so
that.
okay, I get you. Just personality and whatnot.
Yeah, like they inherited like most of his memories, some of his personality traits, like all the stuff he learned about science and shit.
Okay.
So like we also get a short scene of these 3 interacting with each other. So Al walks over and like opens a microwave, and someone just left like a shrimp casserole in there or something like that. Something that apparently stinks to high heaven, and he's just like, Bert, come on, man, you can't leave your food in the microwave like this. You're gonna ruin it. So anyway, Wesker Prime shows up to question them about some of the stuff they were doing, and then some Umbrella forces show up to try to shut down his lab. A firefight breaks out. Albie, the 3rd clone, gets killed. Wesker Prime escapes. And then from there, the timeline continues to where OG Wesker Prime does indeed die in a volcano in 2009, fighting Chris and Sheva.
So are we talking about the show or the games?
Both, kind of, because up until 2005, the show actually follows the continuity of the game timeline.
Oh, okay, I just mixed the context. I was talking to Kendrick. By the way, I don't think he's making it tonight. He's working noon to midnight, so
Wow, he better be getting
he's
fucking
getting
overtime.
fucked over. Yeah, so he's not gonna. Yeah, he says he's probably not gonna be able to make it.
Yeah, that's fine. So, there's your first big spoiler. Wesker Prime did in fact die in a volcano getting blown up by rockets in 2009.
Oh, okay.
So, the Wesker we know in the show is actually the clone Al. And he is the only, like, actual, like, mentally stable clone that Wesker created. So he actually is able to, you know, live and function as, like, a normal human being.
What's wrong with the other clone? Like, are they just like only able to function as like scientists at work? They can't really
Like, they-
exist normally. or
Well,
something?
it's because they all inherited a lot of Wesker Prime's personality traits, and he wasn't exactly a stable human being to begin with. And then you add in the fact that the clones were essentially speed grown from like newborn to 20-year-olds in the space of like 6 months.
That's usually not good whenever there's cloning in a fictional world. The faster they grow, the crazier they usually are.
Yeah, so Bert and Albie were pretty fucking unstable, but Al somehow manages to actually function as a human being. So that's the Wesker we're following in the 2022 timeline. So yes, you are right. He is not the original Wesker because the original Wesker got blown up in a volcano.
But also, why is the clone like? I don't know. What was your other criticism of him? That he just acts nothing like a Wesker, like the original Wesker from the other stuff. Like even his mannerisms are just completely different. He just does not resemble Wesker, except for
Yeah,
what the
no,
storyline does with him.
he's not Wesker in any way, shape, or form. He's
Yeah.
just not.
So, I mean, you're half right. He isn't Wesker Prime, but he is still a Wesker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Wesker. Okay, sure. So I hadn't seen that far. It was just like, it just seemed like some of that woke bullshit.
Oh.
And like, he's also, yeah, the Wesker we see in the show, at least through the first 2 episodes, is definitely not Wesker in any
Yeah.
way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you're right. He is not. He is not Wesker Prime, but in this context, he is Wesker because he was. Well, you find out later that the other.
He's Albert.
Yeah, the other unstable clone, Bert, ends up getting essentially locked up by Umbrella pretty much permanently because he's a danger to himself and everyone else around him. So Al essentially takes on the name Albert Wesker and continues working with Umbrella as Wesker Prime originally did.
You think that maybe he would have been like, man, this did not end well for Dad? Question mark. Maybe I should stop doing this.
Well, that's where we come to the other, I guess, deviation in the timeline. So in the original timeline, pre-Resident Evil 4, Umbrella essentially tanked and disbanded completely. In the new timeline, we're introduced to a new character, which I think you've seen. You've seen Evelyn, right? She.
I don't know.
No,
Who
I mean,
is
she's essentially the person in charge of Umbrella at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that Evelyn's full name, her full name is Evelyn Marcus, and she's actually the daughter of James Marcus, one of the original founders of Umbrella, who ended up getting assassinated by Birkin and Wesker Prime prior to the events of Resident Evil 0. So when Umbrella was going under, she finally stepped forward and took the reins and said, hey, like, I didn't know all this fucked up shit my dad was doing. All I'm asking you is to, like, please give me a little time to, like, fix this shit, and I'll make Umbrella into the company that it was originally supposed to be.
it sounds like they're kind of
She doesn't-
incorporating.
She doesn't seem like that, though.
Well, I mean, that was back in 2005. This takes place in 2022, so
Yeah.
she's been head of Umbrella for, 15 plus years at this point.
What's that sub-faction in the game lore anyway that breaks off from Umbrella and tries to essentially undo all of
Oh,
Umbrella's
Blue
bullshit?
Umbrella.
Blue Umbrella. So it
Yeah.
seems like they're trying to incorporate the idea of Blue Umbrella where the new leader of Umbrella is like, man, my dad was a fucked up dude, let's fix this shit.
Yeah, then that was what she originally set out to do, but as she learned more and more about the fucked up shit Umbrella was doing under her father's rule, she kind of got corrupted herself, and she started up those same kind of experiments, but she's been doing them much more safely.
More controlled environments,
Yeah,
not just
except for the
sacrificing a whole
Tijuana.
city.
Yeah, except for the Tijuana incident. That's the thing we
Oh,
don't
not
really.
Tijuana, no.
Yeah, we don't really get to see much of that in the show. We just know that something
There was an
real
outbreak.
bad happened
There was some sort of outbreak there.
Some Lost Plague shit happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever happened. What was the one where you played in South Africa, or where was it?
Oh, that was Resident Evil 5. That was
Yeah.
Kijuju, and that was like Plaga 2.0,
okay.
essentially.
Because like I know that like the Resident Evil shit goes on so long, it gets so complicated to the point where it's like, have we even seen a regular T-virus zombie since 4 games ago? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, we have
No.
the last
Yeah,
time
it's
we
like-
saw a basic T-virus zombie was Code Veronica, I think.
Shit, fucking really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, I thought it was later than that. Isn't Code Veronica from like 2003 or something?
Yeah, it was the last old school style game before Resident Evil 4 came out.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the idea of like this is a virus that turns people not into zombies per se, just crazy people. It's like, okay, well, why?
I will say I don't like that the zombies run.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing
Yeah.
where I always think zombies are done a little bit better in game form than they are in movie form. Because, like, Shamblers, like, in video game form, maybe it's just the fact that you're kind of, like,
Constrained
almost
controls.
and you're, like, almost interacting with them directly, rather than just kind of seeing something happening to somebody else on a screen. Makes them a bit more threatening. And also, just live-action rotting corpses running, it always kind of looks hokey.
Yeah, because they're like, unless you're like, maybe like
Plus
World War
you
Z
could-
did it all right, but most movies or shows with running zombies, it looks like just dudes running
Like,
instead of like what zombies
the
would actually
whole-
run
Yeah.
like. No.
The whole first scene where she runs away and gets back to her camp and fries them, like, if that was Shamblers, it just, yeah, it wouldn't be hard at all to get away from them.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like unless I was completely backed into a corner, I could get away from
A shambler.
All you gotta do is trip one, you got them in 10 seconds
a
there.
good number of Shamblers even. Like
Yeah. Much like Pyramid Head, a brisk walking pace is your best defense.
So
Yeah.
for live action, it seems like if you want slow zombies to work in a live action thing, you either have to have the main cast is either completely untrained or just straight up incompetent, or the zombies have to be surprisingly stealthy for it to work in live action.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's like you got like 6 dudes shambling toward, just fucking shove 2 of them to the ground. They have no balance and just leave. But no, if you make it where it's like a panicked regular dude who was a carpenter and the zombies happened yesterday, it works better. But Resident Evil slow channeling zombies in live action is kind of like, well, just.
Yeah, and also I haven't actually seen a lot of zombie movies that take place in like a really constrained environment, like the Raccoon Police Station.
I also through
Train to
through the first 2 episodes haven't seen a lot of zombies.
Yeah,
And
fair.
it's Resident Evil.
I mean, to be
So
fair,
why the
don't you
fuck
only see a
haven't I
few
seen more
zombies in the
zombies?
first couple hours of the first game? Like the first bit of it is just trying to figure shit out, and then a zombie finally pops out and then starts picking
You
up.
immediately see one.
Or are you
Pretty
talking?
much.
Are you talking Resi 2 or Resi 1? Because
it's not
Resi
one.
1, it's probably a good like 5 to 10 minutes if you don't skip the cutscenes when you meet your first zombie.
If you don't
I was
skip the
misremembering,
cutscenes, then
apologies.
it's almost immediate. But if you what?
Like okay, like
No, I brought it up, Evan. I don't know what I'm talking about, so don't say what to him. I brought it up. I was
No, like,
no.
I was still saying.
yeah, like you take Resident Evil remake, you go through like the first full cutscene, you do see some zombie dogs, you run to the mansion, you're in the main area, you have a conversation with Wesker and Barry because I'm playing as Jill in my head right now. Then you go through one room, go over, talk to Barry, he's examining the blood pool, tells you to look around a bit more, and then you have the option of going through the door to your right. And then depending on which way you go, you could run down an entire hallway, not see nothing, come back, and then you see the one zombie who's eating fucking, what's his name? Not Forrest. Not Joseph. I don't remember, but the guy from Bravo team, and then the zombie, you get the classic head turn thing.
But
he stands up.
in the original, you're pretty much as soon as you start playing, unless you veer completely the wrong way, you can go straight to.
Yeah,
a
you
zombie.
can,
Like,
but you know,
within a minute you can see.
okay. I also haven't played the
zombie.
original game in like over 20 years at this point.
Oh, wow. You can immediately go to the zombie.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, we could talk all day about how the jank the original game was.
We don't have to. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to derail it so much. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm pretty sure in the first game, don't you not see a zombie for a hot minute? And then that was all I
Yeah.
meant to say.
In remake, it can take upwards of 5 minutes before you find the first zombie.
I just meant like the original. I'm not even familiar with the remake at
Oh,
all. No.
I mean, it's a remake of the first game. That's about it.
Oh, it's not like a redone version where it changes a bunch of shit.
I mean, it changes quite a bit, but
Yeah.
it
So it's
it's
not a re. Oh, okay, yeah. I
it's
guess it is
different
a remake.
skin on the same skeleton, essentially.
Gotcha. But anyway, continue with the main train of thought. Didn't mean to derail this.
Okay. So, the other things we got to talk about in the 2022 timeline is the fact that Wesker has 2 daughters, Billy and Jade. And
Wait, does Albert Wesker have two daughters, or does
Clone-
Al have 2 daughters?
Al has
Fucking-
2 daughters.
Fucking Albert. He has 2 daughters.
Yeah, we can just call him Albert because that's the name he goes by for pretty much the entire show. Yeah, he has 2 daughters. And the reason he made these daughters is because, and you see him shooting up their blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially the accelerated cloning process that Wesker Prime used to speed grow the clones lead to like massive cellular instability.
Oh, so basically Star Wars clones. Like, they only live for like 40 years because they're grown in 6 months in the tube.
Yeah, pretty much. So Albert custom designed these 2 daughters that he ended up having and essentially fucked around with their genetics and made it so that their blood is what stabilizes his cellular instability stuff. So like he has to shoot up their blood or
He'll melt, or...
he'll die. He'll
okay.
die.
I don't know if you meant literally, like, he'll just start sloughing on him and just be like...
Nah,
No,
he
'cause-
becomes in great pain. He'll go into seizures, go unconscious, and then die.
Because even what's her name that's running it, Evelyn, is like, how much are you shooting up now? Because it used to be
Like once every
a
2 weeks, but
and
yeah, as is going on, it's
is
like
it every day now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
much every day at this point.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, Albert actually does love his daughters, which, I mean, he gives one of the best intimidation speeches I've ever seen in, like, media.
You're about to tell me that Albert Wesker terrified a bully?
Kind of.
This is great. I love it.
Yeah, so essentially, Billy and Jade are high school age in the 2022 timeline. They like just started school in New Raccoon City, which is like a planned community that Umbrella made. So they're like, yeah, we can get all of like our good minds and researchers like all in one place, so they can like collaborate and make dope new medicine and stuff.
Which is not unrealistic. That has literally happened many times in real life.
Yeah.
Fordlandia, like, there's entire towns in like South America where it's just like Brazil, the Amazon, everything's just South America, and then there's just a very starkly white town of only people who work for Ford, making rubber and extracting other resources and shit.
Yep.
Just a town named Fordlandia.
Yeah. So it's essentially that for like
Umbrella
medicine.
town.
Yeah, medicine and stuff. And they call it New Raccoon City because old Raccoon City's kind of a nuclear crater now.
Do they ever like? Throughout like all the games, do they ever like mention like is the old Raccoon like what about that entire state? What state was Raccoon City in? Is that state still inhabited? Because like if I knew the biggest city in my state, if Anchorage got nuked, I'm leaving.
Yeah. It's never explicitly stated where exactly in the United States that Raccoon City is.
East Coast somewhere.
No, it's Midwest, so it'd be like Colorado or something.
The movie did a good job of like exploring that. We're like, this is a dead town with no prospects. People still live here. Yeah, that's the Midwest.
Yeah, which also, thank you for bringing that movie up. That thing I was talking about earlier, the whole overtones of corporate greed. That movie actually nails it on the fucking head because the outbreak in that movie was not an accident. Umbrella put the T-virus in the fucking water supply just so they can sit back and like take notes on what happens.
I like the more nuanced approach of it was an accident that they immediately capitalized on.
Yeah,
Having it all planned out beforehand just kind of sounds too Disney evil.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea that they fucked up and they're like, wait, we can make something of this.
Yeah, but for the purposes of that one singular contained movie, that was a pretty goddamn good explanation. Because like you said, the fucking town they were finished with it anyway. They're like, well, what last thing can we get out of this? Fuck it, put the T-virus in there. Let's see what happens.
Right.
Like, shit, the fucking U.S. government did that shit with MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
So
And Flint was totally an accident.
yeah, so anyway, there's that. Anyway, back to the 2022 timeline. So Wesker's daughter, Billy, she's getting bullied for no real fucking reason that I could actually determine other than the fact that she was like I guess she's kind of woke. She's like, no animal cruelty, only vegan.
Hey, that's not woke. That shit's been going on for decades.
Yeah, I know.
Don't lump in or vegetarian activists and vegan activists into woke people. That shit's been going on way longer.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, yeah, she was. I know, like they mentioned the shirt, but
Too hippie.
yeah. Other than that, like, there's no reason for her to get bullied, and she ended up trying to like make peace with this bully, but the bully literally just like threw a fucking sandwich in her face, laughed, and walked away.
Oh, it was a burritos.
Oh, it was a burritos? I mean, it looked
Yeah.
like a big burritos, though.
It was a big burritos.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you threw a burrito at me. Good. You didn't need the extra weight anyway.
Yeah. So,
That's how you get your ass kicked.
yeah. So Jade, I kind of saw what she was trying to do when she enacted this plan, but Jade puts on the fucking, like, Raccoon High School mascot outfit and goes and beats the shit out of the bully, and then puts the costume in Billy's locker to be like, oh man, she did it. Don't fuck with her. She's fucking crazy. But, well, that obviously got Billy in trouble. So they get taken to the principal's office, and I watched this scene twice just to memorize Wesker's amazing speech. So, like, the dad of the bully's like, yeah, like, Billy, like, beat the shit out of my daughter. Like, I'm gonna be pressing charges. And right at that moment, Albert walks in, and the principal's like, oh, Mr. Wesker, I'm glad you can make it. And instantly the other guy's like, Wesker? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So Wesker sits down and is like, all right, so, like, tell me what's happening. I heard you threatening my daughter. Thin walls around here. And the guy's like, no, I wasn't threatening her. So Wesker just kind of settles into a very, like, relaxed pose and looks at the guy and says, what's your name? My name's Dave. Oh, Dave. What do you do for Umbrella, Dave? Oh, I'm a server administrator. Oh, and how many people do you think can do your job, Dave? 1,000? 10,000? How many people do you think can do my job? 1. Me. Now, I'm not a very good father. I try, but I'm not. It's because I work too much. But that's the very thing that makes me indispensable to Umbrella, Dave. What do you think the people that own this town, that pay me and you and the principal here, what do you think they're going to do if and when I call them and say, I'm going to quit unless they fire you? Actually, Dave, I don't want you fired. I want you blacklisted. I want it so that you never work for another tech company ever again. Not Apple, not Google. Pornhub will shred your resume, Dave. What do you
That's
think about
amazing.
that? Yeah, and then Dave's like, shit, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, none of this ever happened. And then Dave's daughter's like, Dad, what the hell? And then Wesker looks at her and says, Yes, I know my daughter attacked you, but you attacked my daughter twice. At the very least, I think you owe her an apology. Then the girl's like, sorry. And then Wesker's like, no, again, better. I'm really sorry. I won't do anything to you ever again. And then Wesker's like, oh, good. Matter settled? Everybody happy here? Excellent. Billy, would you like to come to the lab with me today? We can do lunch. Oh, she'll be taking the rest of today and tomorrow off. Call it a mental health day.
I like. Oh man, I like this character. a
Yeah,
lot.
no, like,
No, he's great.
yeah, like,
He's just not Wesker.
Like
Yeah.
using
But-
his Wesker attitude for everyday situations.
yeah, that's, like,
It's like, my dad's John Wick. You really want to call a PTA meeting?
yeah, like, I mean, honestly, and, like, I love DC Douglas's Wesker. Like, he's timeless, but honestly, Dad Wesker might be best Wesker, in my opinion.
Any villains put into a dad position are always just
No,
interesting.
no. That-
I mean, look, I'm not,
he is not best Wesker. No.
I mean, I disagree because, like,
He's new Wesker,
Like-
therefore interesting Wesker.
well, I mean, the thing I love about, you know, DC Douglas Wesker is the fact that he's so ridiculous and over the top, but, like, in, like, a more real, grounded setting, like, this Wesker is, like, he doesn't have to ever raise his voice. Like, if you're a fan of the game, like, you know who Wesker is, and even if you don't know who Wesker is watching the show, you immediately understand that this guy is fucking important. He is in a powerful position. When he is talking, everybody shuts the fuck up and listens. He doesn't
but-
have to be over the top.
He's still just not Wesker.
Yeah, I know.
And
He's
so that's
he's Albert, but
and so I don't have a problem with the character. Like I said, while I'm watching the show, I'm pretty much just like, this isn't Resident Evil. That I'm just gonna watch it that way. This is just a zombie show, because
I'm telling you,
if
man,
I
it's more
watch it-
Resident Evil than the Anderson movies.
Hey.
Yes.
No,
The
it's
first Resident
not.
Evil movie's got a lot of Resident Evil.
Okay,
And the
I-
second one too.
Yeah, I retract the statement. Everything from 3 on in the Anderson films is not Resident Evil.
I like the third one.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying it's not Resident Evil.
I would say it is. I mean, if we're just going to go off of the theme of corporate
It's-
greed, it does explore an apocalypse caused specifically and stated multiple times because of Umbrella's greed led to
It's
the world
more
ending.
Resident Evil, in my opinion, than the show is.
Comparatively, how Resident Evil is the Monster Hunter movie.
No, okay, so almost all of the Resident Evil movies are more
Well,
faithful than the Monster Hunter.
Resident Evil doesn't have Ron Perlman. So,
Unfucking fortunately.
so I think Resident Evil loses, actually.
I think Ron Perlman as Mr. X would have been.
Oh my god. That is the best idea ever.
I
They
agree.
missed out.
They did. Yeah, they missed out on that shit.
Oh my fucking god. That is the best idea I've ever fucking heard.
I know, right?
Ron Perlman and Mr.
You'd have to give him some at least
Shoot
one.
his hat off and
Yeah. You just.
boom, 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 boom.
You'd have to give him at least one speaking line though, just to hear that classic Ron Perlman. voice.
Stars.
Well-
Stars never change.
Well, they already fucking ruined Nemesis, and that is the fucking problem.
What? How? Okay. You know what?
Nemesis gets his ass kicked in hand-to-hand combat. Like, yes, I know Mila
Yeah.
Jovovich is super, but Nemesis
I
is
know,
fucking Nemesis.
But I just don't.
It literally takes a nuclear warhead to kill Nemesis,
No,
and she
you're
beats the
right.
shit out of
You're
him.
But
right.
does she kill him?
No,
You don't.
well,
you don't have to be a nuke to beat
She
the
gets
shit out of
away
him.
from him.
yeah, she gets away from him, and then Raccoon City blows up. But like,
Yeah, exactly.
like no, Nemesis. Like, even in a fight like that, Nemesis should not have been on the ground for more than like 30 seconds
He just shouldn't have been on the ground.
at all.
Like, this is a 5'6", 150-pound woman. Like,
Yeah, and Nemesis
you
like
can't knock down a fucking 7-foot.
yeah, honestly,
800
he also
pound man
wasn't
if
fucking
you're
tall
that.
enough in the movie. He literally was not big enough to be Nemesis.
What is Nemesis supposed to be?
Nemesis
10
is like
feet?
no,
9?
not 10 feet. He probably tops out
Like
somewhere
8?
between like 8.5, 9 feet tall.
Ah, okay. Fuck.
Which they did have a big dude playing him in the movie, which, I mean, good on them for that, but he was still too fucking small.
No, Ron Perlman on stilts. That's what we need.
Yes, Ron Perlman on stilts as Mr. X.
And I want it to be very obvious that he's on stilts.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
He's not trained.
His knee joint will be up here,
He's
like in
not-
mid thigh.
He's not trained on stilts at all.
Yeah.
So like the whole time he's like wobbly.
Stars.
That's I think we just came up with the best movie ever.
That's very true. Like,
Me,
our
motherfucker, me.
yeah, this
Hey,
Resident Evil
I
movie.
added the wobbly bit.
Yeah, no, this Resident Evil movie would be the best Resident Evil movie. Point
But-
is, the show is definitely more Resident Evil than the
Most of the
three
Anderson
on Anderson movies.
So, while I have not liked the first 2 episodes, and I shouldn't say not liked, it just seemed like a very mediocre
Disapproved of
zombie
them.
show. And very quickly I was like, okay, I just have to watch this as if it's not Resident Evil. And that's just for me. And that's just the first 2 episodes. It's just very mediocre to me. Like, there's good bits,
Okay, well, I will.
but there's
Do allow me to go a little bit into the 2036 timeline, because
Please do.
we already know, like, the apocalypse has happened 14 years ago at this point. So Jade and Billy are grown up. Albert is dead at this point. But they do also manage to work in those very important overtones of corporate greed, even in the post-apocalypse, because they state that there's something like 3 million people left in the world, and most of those people...
Only 300 million.
no 300 million. But
Was it 300 million?
3 million
that's
is
what she says,
unsustainable.
and so she's
Okay.
like 300 million people are left. That's 6 billion zombies. Like, you're never gonna kill enough.
Yeah, okay, so, pardon me, 300 million. I heard 3 million, but point is, most of those people are living in safe zones that are set up by Umbrella, like, all over the world. And,
They're fucking Vault-Tec, man.
yeah, they're essentially Vault-Tec, but the rules are that to live here, you have to work for the company. If you don't want to work for Umbrella, like helping out around the settlement, growing food, doing other things, then you're more than welcome to, take your chances out in the fucking wilderness with all the monsters. So
How horrible is it though? Like, do you take one step out the front gate and there's just a sea of zombies, or is it just like,
I mean, they're-
Walking Dead, where you could be
at
anything
one
out there?
place they're at, but it also depends because it also shows her driving a car and there's just people on the side of the road at one point and they're
Yeah,
just
I mean,
walking. And it's
yeah.
So it's not immediate danger. It's just
No.
you're gonna die within a couple of weeks,
But-
maybe a month. No.
Yeah, but there are a lot of monsters out there, and some things worse than zombies do appear in various places, like the big worm in the first episode.
The what?
yeah,
There's a-
there's
yeah.
a giant caterpillar.
Yeah, a giant carnivorous caterpillar. And then
Why? Fucking why?
because the way the T-virus acts when it jumps the species barrier, instead of, well, I mean, it does rot the creature, but also spurs, like, massive amounts of growth, which is how you get the things like the giant fucking spiders in the first game and shit like that.
There's giant spiders in the first game. I've never what?
Yeah.
Oh man, I need to fucking play it or something because I didn't realize there were giant ant like.
I
Because the
have-
dogs turn into zombies and they're the
Literally
same size.
play it
Yeah.
now.
But,
Like
yeah.
dogs are the only ones that don't
Yeah,
change.
there's
right?
giant spiders, there's a giant snake, well, I hesitate to call it a giant shark because sharks can get pretty fucking big on their own.
But it's still a bigger shark than
Bigger than normal, whatever species it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the T-virus can, like, supercharge growth in other species.
And isn't it not actual rotting? Doesn't it just like resemble rotting because of the uncontrolled growth? Like just tumors and nasty bits, but they're not literally rotting?
I
Or
mean,
how is that working? Because I know
uh,
they're technically alive, I guess.
Yeah,
Technically?
it rots the outer layer of humans. I can't remember the exact reason why, but it also basically supercharges like the nervous system. So it makes the nervous system essentially semi-autonomous.
It sounds like the cells grow and die quicker at the same time. So the top layer is always rotting, but it's constantly growing.
I mean, yeah, possibly it's kind of ambiguous on that one, but the whole autonomous nervous system thing is to explain why in the new games and other games you can shoot zombies in the head multiple times and they don't fucking drop.
Oh, it's like a lobster. They don't have a centralized brain. They have nodes throughout their entire body.
Yeah, essentially.
That's cool.
Yeah, I will direct you to Roanoke Gaming's channel, who is an actual scientist who
I love
breaks down that
Roanoke.
shit. Yeah, he does good videos on like the T-virus and the G-virus and stuff.
Actual biologist.
Yes.
He breaks it down into directions you might not be interested in at first when he starts talking about like real life diseases and mutagenic compounds and biology, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, I actually like learning about this really weirdly technical shit.
Yeah, but anyway, so back to the 2036 timeline. The corporate greed is still there because like all the scientists, the CEOs, the security forces, they're all essentially getting fat and happy off the labor of the people they're essentially telling, yeah, you work menial shit for us or take your chances out there.
Yeah, and there's the one guy that's specifically going after Jade.
Yeah, Baxter. I would
and
love to
he
talk
does-
about Baxter because Baxter gets awesome in later
I don't-
episodes.
and that's the feel I get from him.
Yeah. No.
Is that
Baxter
he's
is a
gonna
great-
be more realized? Like he's throughout the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's a goofy,
he's
overweight man.
kind of, but
He actually
they
reminds
don't-
me a little bit of Jack Black.
they don't really do anything with him
Yeah.
in the first 2 episodes. It's just like, oh yeah, this guy's supposed to be kind of funny and he's going after it.
Yeah,
But they don't do much, and it's like, oh okay,
Yeah,
he's gonna be more. Of a
He
thing.
does get a payoff. Baxter is like my favorite character next to Albert and Billy, because Baxter's fucking great. I love him so much.
Do the daughters get any weird traits from Albert? Like, do they have like moments where they get like kind of sociopathic or something?
I mean, Jade is already like I don't know if she's sociopathic or she's just kind of a bitch.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Probably a little bit of both, but Billy starting out is like very kind of like shy and non-confrontational. Like she wants to do her own thing, not really fuck with anybody else. And then as the show goes on, the positions kind of get switched. Like I started out liking Jade better and kind of hating Billy, and then by the show's end, I really like Billy and I fucking hate Jade. But yeah, they got some of those good Wesker genetics, so they decide to break into the Umbrella Lab during the 2022 timeline because Billy's like, oh man, like I saw some fucking rabbits and they said they weren't doing animal testing in there. I'm gonna go get evidence of this shit and put it online. And then Jade's like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Fuck it. That's
because she's also like trying to get back in her sister's good graces.
Yeah.
Because her sister, they were mad at each other.
Yeah,
so
because of
she's
the
like,
bully thing.
okay, let's.
Yeah, let's go do a thing. So they end up going in, and I can't remember if it's their fault the dog gets out or if it was
Oh,
something
it's
else.
100% their fault.
Okay, because like the first.
Billy lets it out.
Okay, yeah, the first episode is a little foggy because I binged all of it in one night, so I remember the later shit better than I do the starting shit. But
No, Billy lets it out.
okay,
And
yeah, Billy lets the dog, the T-virus dog, out. She ends up getting bit, and then there's a whole freak out like, this thing, like, was it sick? Like, was it carrying something? Like, I don't know. And then eventually
Albert lies to them.
yeah, and she's like, no, it's fine. That the dog, it was just a rare sickness we're trying to eradicate. It's nothing to worry
Yeah,
about.
we weren't actually testing on these animals. We were trying to cure them.
Yeah.
It's like,
So, Billy-
why the fuck would you believe that?
Yeah, so Billy ends up straight up infected by the T-virus, but as the show goes on, she essentially, like, because of her Wesker genetics and the tampering Albert did with them when they were, like, still in the womb.
Is it implied that he kind of made them at least somewhat resistant to
Oh,
like some of the
he
viruses?
did more than that. Like, he made them straight up geniuses. There's a line later on where he's like,
Not
they-
geniuses. I meant resistant to the virus.
yeah, I mean, I know, like, he did many things to them. There's a bit later on where he's like, yeah, no, when I was, like, designing you, like, I designed you for, like, smarts, too. And he shares the story about when Jade was, like, 4 years old. She managed to, like, learn fucking fluent Spanish just because her brain was, like, wired to, like, absorb and process information. And, yeah, Billy ends up being resistant to the T-virus.
That's also that like I'm terrified of dogs to a degree.
Because rabies is terrifying.
Yeah.
So like that scene where they let the dog out, like a just dog that's gonna be mean is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
There's one day I'm walking home.
Oh
and
yeah, you told me about this.
up the street, and this dog was off its leash, and it was a pit bull. It was smaller than Lincoln, because of course it was, but it ran up on me just barking. Luckily, it was nice, but I had like my headphones in and was just walking, and then the only reason I knew it was there was because it barked right when it got
Oof.
like at my hip, and it just turned and threw an elbow, missed, and was just like, what the fuck? And this person came out and was like, oh, he's fine, he's not gonna hurt you. And I was like, yeah, well, I wasn't
gonna hurt him either. He just scared the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was going to bite me, but Lincoln does the same thing with people where he runs up on them barking.
His shotgun bark.
But
Yep.
yeah, having a dog after you in a place where you can't even like dodge through things, like you aren't going through trees, you're not in the wilderness, you're like you can't duck around a tree and make it miss, like
Yeah.
nothing. It's just open.
Yep.
Like that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Because being ripped to death by a dog is
Evan,
probably not a good way to go.
you're a strong man. It would take an absolute monster of a dog to actually kill you. To kill you? Oh, dude, you can kick a dog and maybe break its spine. Like, you might be okay.
Yeah,
I might be
trained
okay,
German
but I'd
Shepherd.
still get fucking ripped up.
Yeah,
There's
no,
no fucking way I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, you said ripped to death, and I was like, it's got to be a big fucking. Like, most of the times you hear about people getting mauled to death by dogs are like women and children. Not
Yeah.
big grown ass men who are like, oh, you're gonna try to kill me? Well, I'm just gonna fucking stomp you to death.
Well, and I would hate to do that.
Yeah,
and
I
I
know.
also wouldn't, like, that would never, I would not be able to just stomp a dog to death.
Yeah.
Besides the fact I'd have to wrestle it to get it into that point first. I think I could get away from a dog. I think one dog, even a big dog like Lincoln, if he came at me, I could probably deal with.
Especially if you were
That,
prepared, like if you knew you were about to fight a dog. No,
I think I could probably deal with it, although I wouldn't come away unscathed. I'd get ripped the fuck up.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
But-
absolutely.
But
This is This is also in the context of the show, 14-year-old girls that we're talking
Yeah.
about.
No,
here.
no, I know. He said something about being ripped to death by a dog. And like, it would take a fucking monster to actually kill you without you
Yeah.
fighting.
This was also a
back.
classic Cerberus, and those are like what, Dobermans or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're Dobermans. But
but yeah,
I'd rather fight a Doberman than
Link.
a mad Link.
yeah,
Like if Lincoln was actually trying to fucking kill me, I'd rather fight almost
Let's
any
explain
other
this to
dog
the
in
audience.
world.
I am looking at Lincoln right now. His neck is thicker than his fucking stomach. Like, his neck is as thick as his rib cage, and it just tapers from there.
He's like 100 pounds. He's a big boy.
yep.
And this 80% of it is from like the shoulders up. That's most of the weight. He's very front heavy.
Yep. So anyway, Billy gets bitten. She does eventually fight off the virus, but she does suffer some pretty gnarly side effects first. Like she has fits of like rage, and she'll like start bleeding from the eyeballs and stuff.
Oh, what?
Yeah. No,
She
like
just bleeds from the eyeball sometimes?
yeah, it's when she like gets upset or enraged that the virus like starts to kick up, and she starts to actually show symptoms of it.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing
It's not an
stress, anger, and just like other negative energetic emotions like speed up you
Yeah,
know, the process
like-
kind of, or at least enhance it for a bit.
Yeah, she doesn't fight off the virus immediately. She does like go through various stages of it first before it finally like settles down for good. And that leads the two sisters to like start investigating like what actually is their dad doing at Umbrella. They say he's just developing medicines, but is he?
He's developing the medicine for world peace with his
Well,
weapons.
he's developing that drink,
Yeah, Joy. Which
Joy. and yeah.
that would the ad like they show an ad for this antidepressant drink called Joy, and it ends with Umbrella, our business is life itself, which
It's
is
like,
straight
oh, I hate that.
yeah, straight out of the Anderson movie, and he's just like, well, I hate it. So I'm glad that the show is like secure enough in what it wants to be that it can draw some stuff from the Anderson movies, but also isn't afraid to take pot shots at it.
Right.
Because like the aesthetic of the Umbrella Labs with like the
Yeah.
clean white walls and like bright red like lights and accents, like that's straight out of the fucking Anderson movies, which they actually did well. Because in the games, an Umbrella Lab looks kind of just like any other lab, but the labs from the
think
Anderson
White walls, bright
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah,
that's
but from
normal
the
for
Andersons-
Well,
labs.
think Resi 2, it's
Yeah.
more grungy.
yeah,
when
it's
you
more
get to the
more
labs,
like dirty
but-
gray lived in, but like the clean white and red accents, that's aesthetic straight from the Anderson movie. And having seen those, like you'll never mistake that for any other kind of lab other than an Umbrella Lab.
Right.
Yeah, so it turns out that Wesker is, they're working on this drink, which does contain a derivative of the T virus. And,
Oh, fucking course it does.
well, the thing is, it's in very small doses, like, small enough that, like,
if you chugged a couple bottles, nothing would really happen.
yeah, like, they eventually put it in a pill
How
full.
the Tijuana accident happened.
Yeah, but,
Wait, let me rephrase the question. Is this drink being marketed as just a drink, or is it like this is medicine for depression?
yeah, this is medicine. It,
Yeah.
like, helps with
okay. I thought it
depression.
was like, just like, here's a new, like, Gatorade thing.
No, they-
enjoy.
yeah, they
It's
straight up.
kind of supposed to be a cure-all.
Yeah, for like depression, anxiety, all those other like negative things that can go on in the brain, this is supposed to help fix it.
Especially it's post-apocalypse, so we gotta get the shit under control.
Well,
Stuff sucks.
it wasn't. At
Yeah.
the
Oh,
time.
I thought
Yeah.
this was 2036.
No.
This
not
is 2030. This is 2022 when Wesker is still alive and his daughters are teenagers. So it's,
Wesker died in 2009.
well, yeah. Sorry, Albert and his daughters.
Albert dies?
Yeah, I mean, you not during the show.
bet
You don't
he
see.
does,
Like,
but-
well, I mean, you kind of like when you watch more of the 2036.
No,
stuff,
no, no.
Yeah.
Now, Joy. Let's
Sorry.
get back to that.
Okay.
Joy.
Yeah, so Joy contains like a very small dosage of a derivative of the T virus, which in small doses isn't dangerous at all. Like the body will deal with it easily. They have this whole big conversation like if you try to pack too much into this stuff, it's gonna go bad, and we're gonna have like another Tijuana or raccoon situation. So you have to keep the doses
Why
minuscule.
But what's the
Albert
purpose,
is
though?
having. The purpose is to help cure people of having anxiety and.
Wait, do they really believe the T virus actually does that, or is
Well,
it just a scheme?
It does.
That's what I'm
It-
trying
well,
to ask.
Well, and
It's
they
not-
also don't call it the T virus.
Yeah, no, it's not the original
I
T.
really don't know.
It's not the original T virus. It's a derivative of the T virus.
Yeah, it's related to Ebola. We'll put it in a drink.
Because
That's
that
what
was-
I'm trying to ask. Like, is it a scheme, or do they like, oh wow, T virus in small
It-
amounts
it is a
actually
scheme.
helps?
Umbrella never meant from the first. They didn't ever mean to just make fucking zombies.
Yeah.
It was. They were a pharmaceutical company that actually was trying to help people.
Yeah.
And then once it fucked up, and the fucked up people who were in charge were like, yeah,
Better keep
this
going.
can
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah,
So
there is a scheme with Joy, but it's not the scheme of bringing on the post-apocalypse. They don't want to bring on the apocalypse. Essentially, the way this derivative of the T virus reacts with the brain makes people susceptible to like certain light signals. Like they do a demonstration in a later episode where they're like, "We're gonna put this big fucking mean dog in a room with a tiny little cat." And then they start flashing a series of like red and white lights at the dog, and it just kind of stands there for a minute as the cat like literally walks circles around it, and the dog doesn't do shit. So essentially, this is where the scheme comes. It's like, all right, so like we get Joy
Docile
out to the
population.
people, and then we can like put those light signals like on cell phones or on TVs or on any modern light source, and then guess what? Umbrella controls the fucking world population.
Okay, so yeah, holy shit. My God.
Yeah, corporate greed, man. It's very prevalent. But the problem is they haven't found like the quite proper dose of that for humans. Like they figured it out with dogs. And then the Umbrella board's like, yeah, no, like come on, let's get this shit done. Let's rush it out to the people like right now. Let's make all the money. And Albert is like, no, we need to perfect the dose first. Look at this fucking rat that had too much, and he brings out like a rat in a plexiglass case, and this
Yeah,
rat's just
yeah,
going
the-
fucking berserk.
the
Oh,
end
like
of
the
the
superpowered
second
hamster in the
episode,
boys.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, this rat's like literally beating itself to death on the inside of its little enclosure. He's like, do you want this to happen to people? And the Umbrella's like, all right, we'll give you a little bit of time, but then we're rushing this shit.
all right, no,
But,
but
but we like money, so you have a very short amount of time to get this shit working. Otherwise, we're just gonna fucking ship it.
So I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
I only watched the first 2 episodes. I think it's a very mediocre zombie show, and
Well, also, Resident Evil is
I
never
have
meant to be
to-
just zombies. That's not what it was. I mean, zombies are a big part. They're the main antagonist you face in the games, but it was never solely about the zombies. It was about
it's
the
about
bigger
the
story.
corporation.
Yeah.
Sure, but it's still, I don't know. I don't think it's a good show, but
Maybe
I'm
it'll turn
gonna
around
watch
when you
the
finish
rest of
the
it.
rest of it.
And like I said, people have been saying that after the second episode it gets better.
Yeah,
and you've explained
Yeah,
more.
it
and
does have a bit
so-
of. One last thing I want to talk about. I have to talk about Bert because Bert's fucking amazing. So Bert is another Wesker clone who's also played by Lance Reddick, and Bert was the unstable one that they locked up for years
How come Wesker's clones are black?
because Wesker was black. Like in this timeline,
Okay.
Wesker was black. Did you not hear me
Okay.
talking about when he showed up in the RE5 outfit and he looked like?
Got it.
Yeah, because he's black. He's a black man in this timeline.
Yeah.
But he does all the normal Wesker shit. But so Bert ends up getting locked up for like I don't know how many years, just kind of kept in the basement where they essentially like give him research to work on. But he ends up breaking out, killing like 5 people in the process with like a small razor, which that's the thing
It
about
is a
the
razor.
yeah, that's the thing about the Wesker clones you find out is that even though they don't have like any training regimen that they keep up with, they still have all of Wesker's memories and his training, and they're fucking wrecking machines.
So
in
they
close quarters
don't
combat.
have training, but they have memories of training, which is like kind of good enough sometimes.
Yeah, no, they fucking like both Bert and Al like wreck fully armed squads of goons just barehanded.
I thought they were unaugmented.
Well,
You get shot once, you kind of done for.
yeah, they don't get shot.
Unaugmented, huh?
Well, unaugmented, but with the memories of a lot of fucking training. But
Oh,
anyways,
an augmented guy.
yeah. So anyway, Bert breaks out, and he breaks out after he finds out that Al has 2 daughters. He's like, "Oh, fucking sweet! I have nephews. Like, I want to go meet them." So he goes and like picks them up from high school.
Oh, that must have been a very tense scene. Was he pretending to be their dad?
Like, he wasn't really pretending, but he also like didn't ever mention that he wasn't. So like,
So he was pretending to be the dad. So yeah, sorry.
yeah, but like not act like he wasn't even trying to act like Al. Like he shows up, parks out front of the high school, and he starts like honking his horn as school's getting out. And the daughters look out and see someone they think they're dead, and they're like, "Hey!" And he's like, "Ah, hey, there you are! Like, come on, let's go, like, let's go get some lunch." So they all pile in the Jeep and they go to fucking Olive Garden. And Bert has like
When
he's
you hear your family.
when you're here, you're here. So Bert is unstable. Like he's still very smart, but he has like an almost childlike mentality. So like he opens up the menu and looks at it and goes, "Oh, do you see this? Unlimited breadsticks! Can you believe that?"
That's kind of adorable.
Yeah. So like he's very excited about the breadsticks. Then like the waitress shows up. She's like, "All right, you guys ready to order?" He's like, yeah, but we need some more breadsticks." And he still's got like half a basket in front of him. He's like, "But sir, you have breadsticks right there." He's like, "Yeah, I know. Those are my unlimited breadsticks. Where's their unlimited breadsticks?" And they're like, "No, sir, you only get one basket of breadsticks." He's like, But that's wrong. That is a limit. You are imposing a limit on the unlimited breadsticks."
Okay, he's accidentally a Karen.
Yeah, like, yeah, he's very childlike, but also occasionally like spits really profound shit. Like he ends up straight up telling Billy and Jay's like, "Yeah, I'm not your dad. I'm your uncle. I'm another Wesker clone." And they like don't fucking believe him at first because they don't know their dad's a clone. He never fucking told them. And he's like,
Oh, he's kind of like letting the cat out of the bag.
yeah, and eventually they like, start figuring out and get like kind of afraid of him and also pissed off at their dad. He's like, "Look, your dad, like, he loves you very much. He's really trying. Like, yes, maybe it is a messed up kind of love, but I'll tell you what I believe. Like, we can't change who we were, but we can decide who we're going to be in the future. And you know what I choose? Breadsticks."
I
Fuck
love this
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
Bert's
Dude,
awesome.
I'm gonna watch this show based solely off of Andy's commentary.
Oh
This is
yeah,
great.
no, like just seeing Lance Reddick, who is an amazing actor, playing like all these different versions of Wesker, it's the best part of the show, hands down.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch more of it.
Good.
Like I'm gonna watch the whole show.
Good.
Like I can't not. It's Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was
what
Resident Evil.
what I really well, it's not. But I still haven't changed my mind.
I was just teasing you.
It's still I'm just still gonna approach it as not Resident Evil, but it's still a 5, 6 out of 10 show so far.
We should watch fucking more of
But
it right now.
I've
That's
heard
what he
it
said
gets
as
better.
of now, after 2
But,
episodes, 5 or 6.
No, I mean watch it
But
right now.
what I really want to talk about is Umbrella Academy.
Oh, a thing that's also not Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like, quite literally,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Holy fuck.
yeah, season
They're-
3.
It's so fucking good.
Season 3 is awesome.
And so is season 2. And season 1's mediocre. But
I
season
like
2.
season 1.
They were getting their footing. It's a brand new, completely unique property. Like, they gotta get this shit
Season
figured out.
1's fine, but the other 2 seasons are just
Phenomenal.
phenomenal. And Dylan's at the end of season 1 now, and because when I first watched it, when I watched like the first season, she was just like, "Nah, this show is dumb," and I was like, "Yeah, you would say that because you're dumb." And
Good thing she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Well,
Oh, she does.
I
That's
just
why
mean
she's mad all the time.
I just mean, like, she just was like, oh, I heard this show was dumb.
Yeah,
And
didn't
then
she also say that about Record
wanted-
of Ragnarok?
No, she
That is a
liked
weird
it.
anime.
The
Oh,
only
okay.
reason I like, the only reason I saw Record of Ragnarok.
Well, what was it?
Because of her.
What, she said that about another show. Like, you put on the first 2 episodes, she said it was dumb, and then she just, like, kept watching it.
I don't know.
It was a while
There's
ago.
been plenty where I tried to show her shit, but in any case.
Oh, we're finally getting season 2 of Record of Ragnarok next year.
Yeah, but in any case, the 3rd season is
Fucking nuts, yo.
fucking amazing.
Yep.
And like Dylan's only seen, she's at episode 9 out of 10 of the first season, and she's like, yeah, I kind of don't like 5, and I'm like, you're dumb.
I kind of didn't like him at first either, but he grew on me very quickly.
You're
He grew on
dumb.
me quicker than I've only seen the second half of 3rd season. He grew on me immediately.
5 is the absolute best part of the show, so you're very wrong.
No,
I was
I-
like, who's your favorite character then? And she went, she was like, the guy who can talk to dead people. And it was like,
And Klaus is entertaining.
all right, fine.
Klaus
fine,
is amazing
fine,
in
yeah.
season 3,
Klaus-
just so you know, from what I've
Klaus,
seen.
if you're gonna say Klaus, if you're gonna throw Klaus at me, all right.
I mean, my personal favorite is Diego.
Well, I know.
Is Diego the knife guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He's, well, oh, of fucking course he is.
Yeah. No. Diego's
Like,
fine.
Especially
He's
when
just
he has
not-
to become
he's
dad.
just-
Oh,
he's
yeah, that
just
was
not
pretty good.
like
Like, 5 is a very
He's-
close second for me.
he's the character for the edgy, cool guy.
Wait, I just had a thought. I know, seriously, I just had a thought. Evan, they completely forgot about the kid who got fucking...
No,
They don't
didn't.
mention him again.
Yeah, they do.
No, they do.
They do.
When?
In
Multiple
multiple times in season 3.
After
I
he
watched
gets-
those episodes with you. I don't remember them talking about that kid
No,
very
they-
much ever again.
They talk about him a bit, and then
Yeah.
Isn't that his child?
no, it's actually not
Yeah.
his child.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No,
I thought Diego
But
literally
she
was the
was
father of that
actually pregnant with
Yeah.
Diego's child.
And she was, like,
But-
testing him with another kid. She's
Yeah,
like, oh, yeah, this
she's
is
the
yours.
Same person.
kid. Oh, because that kid called Klaus, like, fucking uncle, and, like, that was his dad or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
But no, Dylan did say Klaus was our favorite, and I was like, I can't really dispute you there. Klaus is
He's
amazing.
great. I like Klaus.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
Klaus,
there
Klaus is
is-
fucking wonderful.
Yeah, there isn't a character in that show that I don't like, but, like,
I would say Luther and Victor
Really?
are.
You don't like them?
No, it's not
Oh.
that I don't like them.
They're
It's
just your least
they're
favorites.
they're the least interesting.
Fair, yeah.
I did like Victor is just ultra powerful and stupid, and also there's the whole trans thing which didn't happen in the comics.
No,
which
but-
apparently, but no, I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
at
no,
all,
they
obviously.
handled that about as well as they conceivably could, which
Yeah.
was very well.
You know what is the most unbelievable thing in that show? is that Victor's brothers and sisters, his siblings, all just immediately started referring to her as him and calling him Victor, just without a hitch. Like, no. Like,
Well, I mean, Luther had a problem with it for a little bit, but he got
Yeah,
a
problem,
no,
or, like,
no, he
confusion.
didn't. He was like, oh,
He's like, he was
now?
fine with it, but he
All
was
right,
also
well,
like,
we'll just
Am I
call
supposed
him
to
Victor.
ask questions? Am I supposed to throw him a party? What are we?
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
poor Luther.
yeah, he is a sweet boy, but no, he like had an issue with it, but also
He
at the
didn't have an issue with
no,
it.
I mean he
thrown
didn't-
off.
yeah,
by
he was
it.
thrown off.
He had one time where he went Victor. He went Victor. One time.
well, no,
And then the rest of the time, everybody referred to her as Victor. And it's like, no, when somebody transitions like that, like calling my brother Dylan, my brother, it's still, there are times where I refer to Dylan as my sister. And I did just,
Pops
it
out
just
and
happens.
slips.
well,
Like, so that's the least realistic thing
sure, but let me ask you.
that happens in that show
Yeah.
is that they all immediately are just like, oh, okay, Victor, my brother.
Well, let me ask you this though: with all the stuff they packed into season 3, do you really think they had that much time to devote to
No.
that kind of thing?
They had
No.
enough time to. They had
No,
enough time.
not at all. And they shouldn't have devoted any time to it. They did it exactly how they should have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was a thing. Having had
adjust.
a sibling transition is like
Yeah, I know.
like where like Dylan, I still have trouble calling him my brother, and not that I have an issue with it.
No,
but
it's just
It's
like
not your natural reaction words. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's not- it's
for
not
my
my
brother
natural
Dylan.
reaction because
You spent most of
He-
your life.
yeah, spent most of my life with him as my sister. So
I personally find the floating talking cube a little bit harder to believe than that, but that's just my.
You know what I find the hardest
Yeah, I
to believe?
don't
The
know
fact they
what's up
spent
with
like
the
an
cube.
hour debating, like, I don't want to risk our lives to save the unit. Bitch, get to it. Why is there a vote?
yeah,
We're just gonna die.
That-
You're gonna die anyway. Oh my
that whole
god.
thing was,
Yeah.
that whole thing
They
was kinda
dragged
dumb.
that shit on, just fucking like, come on, we gotta make this dramatic. Like, no, everything's gonna be gone unless you go in that room. Why the fuck is there a vote?
Yeah.
Everything, at
But-
every point in time, is going to be gone. But these guys want to spend the last hour with their loved
You're
one.
wrong.
Motherfucker! No.
You're wrong if 5 isn't your favorite character, and you're also wrong if Klaus isn't your second favorite character. And I know that you're wrong.
I have it switched. Can I only be half wrong? Class number 1, 2, number 5? I mean, number 2
Yeah,
is
that's
5.
fine.
Okay.
You can interchange them.
Good.
Well, like I already said, Diego's my favorite. 5 is a very close second.
You like
You're
Diego
half
because
wrong.
he's Knife Man.
No, I did.
No?
When you mentioned the dad thing, like I did like Diego. Like Diego had a lot more to him other than being the knife guy. Because I watched like 4 episodes with you. He threw like 4 knives, except for when he fought the guardians of that place. Like he barely uses his power. It's all about him
throws all
being a
the
dad.
Like, the only reason I put Diego above 5 is because I was not initially annoyed with Diego the way I was with 5. Like, I was briefly annoyed by 5's character because he was just kind of showed up and it was instantly like, alright, look, we got shit to do, we gotta do right now, and then everyone's like, well, wait, 5, what the fuck, where did you come from? No time for that shit, we gotta go! It's like,
He's like the doctor.
yeah, he's like, come on, man, like, yes, the world's gonna end in 2 days, you can spare 2 minutes to answer a few simple questions.
Yeah.
That annoyed me about
But
5, but then I got over that.
He's still,
Yeah,
he's still just the best.
yeah,
I
but at no point was I ever like annoyed with Diego, which is why I put him in the number 1 spot and 5 slightly below in the number 2.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of right. I don't think I've ever been annoyed with anything Diego's ever done.
He's just
in
Diego.
the show. He's just like the one thing I can think of that was like, why are you doing this? Was in the third season where they went to the white supremacist bar
Oh yeah.
and
What?
just beat the shit.
Oh yeah,
out of
I
white
missed that episode by
supremacists.
one episode. I started watching with you after that.
It was
episode.
like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that.
Probably shouldn't have done that, but I understand why
But
you
also,
did.
Nazis
also-
deserve getting punched in the face. I'm just saying. No.
Yeah, anybody who thinks lowly of a person because of their race should be punched in the face, and
By someone of that they think is of a lower race.
Like, oh, you think you're better than me? Oh, your teeth are falling out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the only reason 5 is slightly lower, is because I was annoyed with him for a little
Can I
bit.
at least say I don't know if that actor is 18 or older, but if that's a
not.
teenage actor, he's
think
doing
he's-
amazingly well at capturing
I think
the
he's
mannerisms
like
of an old man.
16.
Yeah, dude, that actor might be the best actor in the show.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, he is.
I want to
Fucking
say
amazing.
he just like turned 18 in real life, like when they started filming season 3.
yeah, but so basically it's
But yeah, he-
almost a
yeah.
sort of child
But
actor
he's-
capturing
he's
old man
fucking
perfectly.
perfect.
Yeah,
He's,
That-
he's yeah,
yeah. that-
just fantastic.
The
I
blackout
fucking
karaoke.
love
Oh,
Yep.
so good.
Jimmy didn't get to see the part in season 2 where he slaughters the
A boardroom of
The
people full
boardroom.
with an axe.
Yep.
but
And also the fight
And
scene in season
season
1
one.
where it was set to Istanbul, not
Oh, it
Constantinople.
is? Oh, fuck, yes, I love that song.
oh my god.
Yeah, the diner fight.
We'll have to show you these.
Yeah,
after,
they're awesome.
because 5 is just broken.
Yeah, no, like
I get that
Victor.
feeling from him. He's supposed to be like the mentor character with overwhelming powers, but he doesn't use it too at least.
And he looks like a fucking 14-year-old.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Like, just give me a glass of whiskey.
so
you
he's
stupid
just
piece
a
of shit.
14-year-old looking guy, and they're all like, "What's up, old man?"
Yep. Like, you know, everyone says Victor's the most powerful person in the show. I actually think it's 5. Like, he's not as much of a warhead as Victor is, but he's
No.
way more versatile.
Victor barely does
That-
shit in the episodes I watched with them.
There's a scene where he talks to Victor, and he's like, "If you ever,
Yeah, if you fuck up, I'm gonna kill you.
yeah,"
Like, if you-
and he could,
Yeah.
he could just.
I mean, Victor's more powerful, but like, you have to charge that
But-
shit up. He could just be like, pop in, slice throat, dead.
Yeah, and that
It's
would be
over.
it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, 5. I fucking love 5. Season is absolutely great.
Yeah.
And that whole show. The only thing, so at the end of season 3, they've all lost like their powers.
Yeah, there has to be a season 4.
Which
There has
I
to be.
Don't like, because who wants to watch a superhero show, movie, anything where the superhero doesn't have their powers?
That's why Spider-Man 2 is amazing.
Yeah, but he still had his shit.
Later.
He still had his shit the whole movie.
Wait, is that 3 where he fucking falls off the wall and breaks his spine? Like, because like he loses his powers. for
No,
a good
he
bit.
kicks fucking James Franco and makes him break his spine in 3.
No, I mean when Spider-Man's literally losing his powers, he slips off the wall and falls into a car, and he literally goes, "My back!" But
Oh,
that's
my
a
back!
fucking meme. How do you not remember that? He
Okay,
lost his
I know what you're
powers.
talking about.
Yeah, like when he was having his
And
existential
he went to a
crisis.
therapist about it too, like my friend who
My-
is Spider-Man.
Yeah, my friend dreams he's Spider-Man, but he's losing his powers.
Yeah, like it's literally said out loud more than once.
Yeah, no, it'll like there has to be a season 4 because they also revealed that fucking Hargreaves is still alive at the end.
Yeah, and he just set everything up so that
He could get his wife back.
he's very well set up, and
Yeah.
he got his wife. So
Yeah,
I
so
mean, wait, real
it's
quick.
gonna.
What's the context? Did he cause the end of the world, or did he just take advantage of it?
he took advantage of it.
Well, then I am still on Hargreaves' side. Fucking full stop.
No,
If you can stop the destruction of everything, you get to be in charge.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he was
Like,
just possible. Like he had to sacrifice his kids supposedly to do it. So, like that's my hang up. Like if my wife were dead and I had the ability to get her back, sure I'd go for it. But at the same time, I wouldn't sacrifice my
Everyone
kids.
and
But they
everything
aren't
is
your
going to
biological
die.
kids, and also he had been training his kids for this shit the
Yeah,
whole time. That's
true.
the only reason he had them,
Yeah,
and so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that 5 can't blink anymore.
I like the idea.
I want 5 to be able to blink.
I like the idea that there's like a interdimensional, like, cosmic machine that can control all create. I really like that, like, barely touched idea. That this isn't an alternate dimension, it's just a facade and we're inside the machine.
Yeah.
Like, that's super cool. And then it's over in like 90 seconds.
One thing I was disappointed with in season 3 was the reveal that the monsters were just things in samurai armor and not some kind of cosmic.
I was
horror.
disappointed
Also,
that when I saw that they were bipedal. I was like, oh, it's just a dude walking around slicing fingers off. Fuck it.
I will say the last one that they killed.
Yeah.
He has the bugs crawling into the holes in his face.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I fucking hated that. Like, that immediately was just like,
Yeah. No,
I itch. I itch now. Like,
I was hoping
There's
for
no holes in me, right?
Yeah. I was hoping for some kind of Cthulhu monster, and I got Bugman in samurai armor, so I was a little sad about that.
Yeah, budget. What can you do?
Yeah.
well, that's just what the comics did.
I
so
know.
it has nothing to do with budget. They just
Yeah, we're following
Yeah,
the comics, and
yeah.
I get it. I wished it was
Why
something
did
else.
the Guardians for the machine that controls the entire timeline and existence of this 7 billion old, like 14 billion year machine? Why are they samurai? Can someone fucking explain?
because they were like, well, that's the dopest one. So
And samurai
all,
are
of
just
all
do
time and
that.
all of existence across the universe, they picked human samurai.
fair, but they're samurai are pretty dope.
samurai are pretty fucking cool.
So
I still wish it was
Yes.
something else though.
Yeah, like just not bipedal. I thought it was gonna be like a
Yeah.
monster of some sort. Like
well,
a force
and
of nature.
especially like because when you saw him in the earlier episode, the like boom,
Yeah.
boom with every step, and it was like, okay, that sounds like it's gonna be something crazy.
Is it gonna be like a fucking minotaur in the middle of this maze? That'd be awesome. No, it was samurai.
No, this is the Minotaur from Legend of Zelda. All you have to do is get up on the hedges.
Honestly, I was hoping for some Dead Space shit. Like it's like halfway between zombie and eldritch. It's like right in the middle.
Yeah.
But in any case, that it was still an amazing season,
Yep.
and that
I just kept getting snagged on the part where people are voting,
When,
deciding, are we gonna risk our lives to save our lives? Maybe.
when
Fuck.
yeah, when they did the stag do,
Yeah. These
That-
guys are
that was
awful.
still with with 5 leading in. It was so good.
I did really appreciate like Hargreaves trying to like make a speech, and then it just all got ruined when it was like, yep, this was still all part of my master plan. I'm just like,
I know.
be a goddamn dad for 5
I
minutes.
interpreted it differently. I think he was telling the truth. He did try at the wedding. That was going to be what he's going to do, and he was like, well, that obviously didn't work. Now I'm going to have to kill Luther. If
Yeah.
a wedding can't bring people together, this will. I think he was hoping
Because
that
he-
would work. He's
he-
not completely emotionless, like,
Yeah,
at least
I
not this
know.
version.
No, he is.
The fact that it was
Yeah, because he's wiping out his children to save all of exist. Like, the stakes are so fucking high, I get it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he killed one person to make sure the rest of existence continues to exist. Like, oh no, it was his kid. His adopted kid that he experimented on. Whatever.
Well, I mean,
That
I
is
actually
very
didn't know up until the point where he was actively sacrificing. Like, maybe I missed a scene or something.
I wish I had a dad that would turn me monkey.
Yeah, but, like, until he, like, actually was like, yeah, stand on the things. Now I'm draining your energy. Maybe I missed a scene, but I didn't know he was actually going to sacrifice them. I thought he just needed them to fight their way past the guards so he could get to the thing and do the thing.
But it worked without any of them dying.
Yeah, true.
So they might have overreacted. Because it still worked no problem, apparently.
Well,
No,
it did
but
take their powers,
during
though.
yeah,
It did drain the stuff out of them that gave them their powers.
But it didn't kill them.
No, it didn't kill them.
He was sacrificing their specialness, I guess.
Yeah. But, I mean, maybe he didn't even know that he could only do that. I don't know. Hargreaves is a real fucking complicated character.
I'm still on his team because it's all of existence throughout every point in time. So I still am on his
Yeah.
team.
versus
He could murder every single one of his children and be like, dude, it's all of existence. I get it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Still sucks though.
It does suck, but I get it.
In any case, the show is still just amazing.
Yep.
It's
I'm gonna have to watch from the start. I'm too invested on the third season. I
Yeah,
need
you
to
gotta
go-
start watching from the beginning.
Yeah.
And the first season is pretty meh, and then the second season goes bleh, and then the third season goes
Yeah.
bam.
Oh wait, so the second season's not good either?
No,
second
the
season's
second
good.
season's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion, they progressively get better from 1 to 3.
Yeah, the first season is pretty meh, and that's why, like, I watched the first season and was pretty much like, eh. And I didn't. It was just like, okay, that was fine. And then
Istanbul,
After-
not Constantinople.
after the second season, and then third season came out, it's just like, oh, okay, this is actually dope as fuck.
You know Wesker's in that show, right?
Okay, you're gonna have to
Douglas?
clarify.
Tom Hopper played
Motherfucker.
Wesker in the Welcome to Raccoon City movie. The guy who plays Luther.
Oh,
Oh.
shit!
Yeah.
That's why he looks so familiar. I thought I was
yeah.
like, is that like a discount Channing
Yeah,
Tatum?
no shit. He's in. Yeah, he keeps saying he looks like.
I
Channing
said
Tatum.
it one time.
He doesn't fucking look like
One
Channing
time.
Tatum
One
at
time.
all.
I said it was a discount
He
Channing.
doesn't look like
I said
him
it
at
one
all.
time. Once.
He doesn't look like him.
I saw
at
one
all.
episode. I was like,
He's just a white guy.
But he was also Wesker.
But yeah, no. Yeah. And
Who
he's
you talking
also-
to, Wesker?
He's also
You,
Billy Bones.
You talking to your girlfriend? Huh?
wait, what?
Setting up some kind of date? Maybe put on a romantic journey. You know, a movie, a bit of journey. What that singer's voice does to women. What's that sound like, Wesker? Sounds like I'm getting laid. But not tonight, you're not! Get in your uniform! Get out there and find those missing cops! And Leon, get back to the front desk and get a goddamn haircut, you fucking hippie! Chief Iron's best part of that movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I actually got...
Fucking Luther is Billy Bones.
Yep.
Black Flag?
Yeah.
God damn. No wonder I had such a weird,
And
like,
it's-
I'm so familiar with this
it's-
person's face.
It's only slightly exaggerated how big his arms are.
I mean...
It's only tinily.
Just a little
It's
bit. They've
just
had the
tiny
shirt a bit,
because
you know,
his arms are like.
actually just fucking
Just-
monsters.
Yeah, no, Tom Hopper's jacked.
I've got some alright arms, but my arms are like 1/5 of what his arms are. he's fucking ridiculous. And then on top of that, they're like, oh yeah, and in this show you're crossed with monkey.
Yeah, you're also part Martian Red Ape.
So
So we're gonna put this muscle suit on you. It's only about that thick.
Whoa, wait, Martian Red Ape?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. I missed that entirely.
Yeah,
so
no.
it was an alien monkey that
Yeah.
spliced with Luther. I thought, when we were watching, I asked, and he was like, yeah, he spliced him with a monkey, I
Yeah, he splices him with Martian Red Ape DNA.
think. In this universe, or is
In
there life on
in the
Mars?
Umbrella Academy universe.
There's
Hargreave-
life on Mars?
no, in real life.
Yeah, in real
No,
life. Yeah, in real life, Tom Hopper is actually part Martian Red Ape. They actually CG'd him down to be Wesker and Billy Bones.
No, I just got excited. I was like, in this universe, like, Mars has life on it?
They don't really touch on it. I think it's alluded to that there was at one point at
Oh, like a
least.
fossilized bit
Yeah,
of DNA
and
or some shit. Okay.
you know, Hargreaves being Hargreaves had some Martian Red Ape DNA on hand. He's like, yeah, just shoot that up in there, save his life.
The third season has a good bit because he had to spend like 2 years on the moon.
Yeah.
His dad had him there, like apparently for nothing, but he was actually supposed to be guarding.
Essentially, the grave of Hargreaves' wife.
Is he a
But
Martian?
she was never his wife.
Well, I mean, she would. They
life partner, whatever you
Yeah,
fucking
like,
want to call
No,
it.
no, not even his partner. She
Oh.
left him because she found out how fucked up he was, and
then she got sick and died.
Yeah, but Hargreaves never got over it.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, he buried her on the moon, and he was like, Luther, guard that shit. But he didn't actually tell Luther what he was guarding. He
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, just be on the moon because, I don't know, Soviets or some shit.
So Luther spent like 2 years on the moon.
Yeah, something like 900 days.
Yeah.
So that would have
And-
been closer to 3 years, actually, but still a long ass time.
Yeah. It's just a cool story.
Yeah.
And on top of all that, just 5. 5 is just like I fucking love 5.
Did they ever touch on
He's so good.
after the last time 5 says, future me said, don't save the world? They kind of did. Did they ever mention that part again? Like after everything happened and then he got back to losing the power, he just went
No.
like, "It's
So
been interesting. Bye."
he-
It's like, wait, why are you leaving immediately? 5, what are you doing?
Lost his arm, and then, like the one in the future did, but then he like stepped on the thing that was sucking their powers, and then it went back, and he got his arm back. So different timeline.
Yeah, wibbly
Nah,
wobbly,
shit.
timey wimey stuff.
So yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hated what was her face. The other sister, I can't remember her name. The one who's in rumor people.
Oh, yeah. She's generally awful.
Well, I mean, she was like really fucking awful in season 3. And granted, I understand why her, husband
Yeah.
and daughter got erased from existence. But I mean, like, that wasn't entirely Victor's fault. I mean, there were other things at play
No,
there.
but
and then-
she blamed.
Yeah, and she just put all the blame on him. It's like, I understand you're upset, but like, good God, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can
Evan,
do
watch
about
this.
it.
Oh, I'm aware of
No,
the
not the
amount.
hair. It's not the hair. Like it's his reaction when I stop petting him. Oh, he was sticking his paw out to like pull my hand back. Ah, never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no.
The one time I wanted to show people, he just didn't do it. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no, Spicy Ranch does that whenever I'm recording videos at home. She has a little cat bed like suction cupped to the window behind my seat, and I'll like reach up and scratch her for a minute, and then if I stop, like a few seconds later, she just like reaches out and fucking puts a paw on my shoulder, like, "What are you doing? You stopped petting me."
No, he was like perching on that, and he really reached. He was like, "Come here, come back, come on, I'm about to fall. Just come back, start petting again."
All right, I'm over it, boys.
You're over it?
I'm over it.
Any closing comments?
Yeah. Resident Evil is still Resident Evil.
I disagree.
You're wrong.
I would say he's
That
only
is-
wrong because he hasn't finished the series yet.
that
And then when
is-
he finishes it and has the exact same opinion as I'm also going to bet money on, then yeah,
You'll still be wrong.
I'm
In
going
that
to lose
case.
money again probably.
Hey, boys. Goodbye.
Yep, thank you for watching.
Goodbye.